You're listening to the Immigration Lawyers Toolbox Podcast, the podcast that keeps your practice sharp and your clients happy. I'm your host, immigration lawyer John Khosravi, and every week we're bringing you insights, tips, and real-world conversations with top immigration attorneys and industry leaders. Whether you're here to grow your practice, stay on top of the latest trends, or get inspired, you're in the right place. Ready? Let's go. Hello, fellow Toolboxers. Welcome to Immigration Lawyers Toolbox Podcast, episode number 414. A quick interview with Austin Dubel, a great colleague located in Pennsylvania, but very international person. And he's speaking at the Rome District Conference. I really want to plug them because I love the Rome District. It's a very cool area of immigration practitioners as part of this AILA immigration section. They really got to get into it. If you get a chance, it's a vacation to Frankfurt. We learn and meet good friends, and you know you're going to have a good time. With the this AILA district. All of them do, but Rome District's international. It's a lot of fun if people will go there. You get to see Europe and stuff. So I recommend getting there, but he's going to talk about his practice, getting started, as well as what he's talking about over there in Frankfurt. And I think it's in October, so another month or so. It was when that's coming out. Speaking of things coming out, Immigration Lawyers Toolbox Magazine episode 10 is out. It's always a lot of hard work doing these, so I really appreciate it, getting the analytics up of you visiting, reading it, and letting us know that you like it. Our colleagues put a lot of work into it. My team does too. And it's just a lot of tweaking that has to happen. So I really appreciate you reading that. And I appreciate the people who contributed, authors, immigration lawyers who did it. It's a lot of fun doing it, but a lot of work. So hopefully it really helps change your practice, whether you're new or been doing it for a long time. There's something in it for everybody. So I want to, again, thank you. And I also thank Immigration by Cerenade, who's been sorting this podcast and also this issue of the magazine. They've been doing a lot of work. And another cool thing they're doing is helping immigration attorneys deal with the stress of what's happening. If you feel like you're running on fumes right now, you're not alone. Stress is practically baked into immigration law. It doesn't mean we can't get better at handling it. On September 30th, Immigration is hosting a free webinar just for immigration professionals. You'll walk away with 4 research-backed tools to build confidence and manage overwhelm at work from performance technology pro Nikola Milinkovic. Do yourself a favor and head to get.eimmigration.com/events to save your seat. The website is get.eimmigration.com/events to save your seat. I definitely recommend doing it, scheduling your time. We got some 2 or 3 weeks, so I'll get into it. These things are really important to help you become better practitioners, just manage the stress of everything that's going on. Another tool to manage stress is our community page at Circle.so. If you want to become a member, you got to be a U.S. attorney only. This goes for business people like this. By business people, I mean people who are instead of business consumer, you know how we have to get disclaimers, not intended as individual legal guidance. We don't need to do that when we have a separate group. It's free, but it's just I want to make sure lawyers. So that's why I want your bar info. Go to immigrationlawyerstoolbox.com. Click on the community tab, fill in the boxes with your bar info so I can make sure you are who you are. Go check it out online and join the community. We got a lot of stuff, AEO decisions with AI that break it down, a lot of free videos, discussion page, keep you updated on what's going on, and a lot more and more coming. Our premium courses are there as well. If you want to learn about marriage immigration, start your own practice, EB1A, E2. The E2 a colleague was reviewing it right now. It's like, wow, this E2 course is really good. It really helped me prepare for a consultation on it when they've never done one before. So I definitely recommend checking that out. Having said all that, none of the information here is intended as individual legal guidance. Please consult with an attorney about your case, but y'all know that already. Let's get the show started. Hi, Austin. How are you? Thanks for coming on the show.
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm good. Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning. How did you get involved in immigration law? Where did you grow up and what led you down this way?
Yeah. So I've just been interested in immigration law for quite a few years now. I've been in the immigration space for over 5 years. And really what it comes from is my own sort of immigration background in that I am a German-American dual citizen, and my dad himself came over to the United States on an L1 visa. And I grew up both in the United States, but then also after I turned 12, we moved to the Netherlands so that I could also experience my European side of my culture. And really all throughout those formative years, just fell in love with the whole international culture and all those kids like from different corners of the earth. Just kind of learning everything about there is, in the international sphere.
Well, that kind of opens it up. How are you able to have dual citizenship with Germany? I may ask the question.
Not easily. They certainly made it a lot harder. They finally relaxed the rules, but I'm told that on day one of my birth, that was something my dad went straight to the consulate to go and secure me some papers.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, it's a whole complex. Yeah, Germany has eased it up. Netherlands and Austria, not so much. But I think they're probably going to do it eventually too. But so you
Right.
practice immigration law. You have your own firm. What kind of cases do you handle?
So I primarily do EB1As, EB1Bs, EB1Cs, NIWs, O1s, and Ls. Really like individually centric petitions.
Well, yeah, those are the ones I like too because it's less dual rep, if you will. And you
Right.
just started your own practice. You're working with Adamat Law. She's been on the show before. Were you working in Europe, or were you working because you're in Philadelphia right now? Were you working remotely here, or were you kind of working internationally?
Yeah, so I was working remotely. I mean, primarily from here in Philadelphia, and I went over a few times. That was great. But yeah, now I've launched Hoga Immigration from Philadelphia, and that's just where I am at now.
Congrats. And, the RDC conference, the Rome District Conference is coming up, and you're speaking there with a great panel, Bob Weber being one of them, a very
Mhm.
well known. He's one of the prolific LinkedIn immigration lawyers,
Yes.
writes a lot. When is the conference coming up?
So it is. It's in October. I believe it's October 22nd to the 24th, and it's in Frankfurt.
So you're obviously traveling there. You're going to go back to the home country and check it. What part of Germany is your family from?
They're actually from like the Rhineland, so just outside of Cologne and Düsseldorf. So actually, I will be paying a family visit. I'll go see my grandmother before I go to the conference.
Wonderful. What town is it?
She's in Krefeld.
Okay.
You have never heard of it. It is it's a Ruhrgebiet like type town. There's nothing really special there. I hate to say it.
That my cousins live in. They used to be in a place called Ahaus, and now I'm trying to do a German accent, but then Munster, which is a little bit better than Ahaus. Ahaus was like a really Munster is kind of like a college town slash farm. Like it's a lot of Germany. It seems rural when you go outside the big city. But so
Oh yeah.
I'd go visiting Germany, and I've driven through all up and down West Germany, but I did names past the other ones I've been to a lot. Very cool. So, how is it starting your office? Because you're new. What are the headaches been so far of just having your own brand and just getting that up and running?
Oh man, I mean, just the whirlwind, right? Like this is something that like I've only ever seen like other professionals talk about. Until you're finally in it, you just really don't appreciate all the tiny little things that have to be in order, from finances and registrations to just setting up your client pipelines to your processes, your internal stuff. I mean, I thought the funniest bit was definitely the fact that I had to have a letterhead set up in order to apply for malpractice
Yeah.
insurance. That's for some reason a prereq, and so I had to be like, okay, I have to really think about a name and logo like right off of the bat.
What I found is like I think you use your name as well for your law firm. I use my initials nowadays. Though those who do branding, that's much easier for people to remember. Because when I tell people I'm JQK, they type in JKK or they can't understand that middle initial, or
Mhm.
JOK when they see it, they don't realize it's a Q. And now looking back, I'm like, I wish now your firm is a little bit easier. It's is it it's Hoga. So they might write
Yeah,
Hogan like Hulk Hogan. I'm guessing you probably got that before.
yeah. No, I'm not going for that connection, but yeah, exactly.
What does Hoga mean?
Yeah, I mean, it basically, I had to pick something that wasn't my name. I run into the same issues as you. It's just with a German last name, people are bound to misspell it. So Hoga actually comes from the Hindi word will be. It's kind of like a slang word. And it actually comes from the fact that one of my very first green card clients, he would always have this call with his like HR, and he would always in the call with Hoga, like manifesting that it'll be. And then finally, I had my first call with him. I had been filled in by HR that was what he was always saying. And so I ended the call with Hoga, and he was so floored and just reassured that just by speaking to someone's language just a little bit really meant the world to him. And he was like, "All right, I think I'm in good hands." And we went and we got him an approval, and he now is a green card holder. So it's like it was a sentimental story. It was the only name that really made like it meant something to me.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's a nice story, actually. That's one of the best parts of immigration law is those kind of stories that happen that really mean stuff.
Oh, we
So,
always have plenty.
what are you talking about on the RDC panel?
So we're talking NIWs. NIWs are a hot topic because they're just honestly they are going through the ringer right now with USCIS.
Hmm. Yeah, I keep track of the AO decision. It went from maybe like 10 or 15 a month to like 40, and there is just bloodbath. I mean, there was a period of time during Biden, which are like approving a lot more than usual. And one thing my worry is that they're going to start reopening these approved cases at their adjustment time because there's a backlog and reanalyzing it. Hopefully that's not the case. But what headaches have you seen in the NIW process?
I mean, there's definitely just an overall resistance to kind of, for lack of a better word, just honor the terms of the regulations, right? So the two things that I just yammer on about all the time are these broader implications that they look for national importance, and then also being well positioned, where more and more they're like, you have to be you have to be like just an exceptional individual, just like the original Dinosaur. You have to have 2 master's degree and a PhD and stuff, and that's not necessarily the case. And likewise with broader implications, it's just, what does that mean? It changes by the officer, it changes by the person. Truly, the ripple effect, it's just lost all meaning, like what you could actually show.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing that too, and especially a lot of AO decisions I read. It's just the national scope is means not. It's just like there's no standard of what that is, and that's why
No.
like even though like EB1A is supposed to be a higher standard because of extraordinary ability, at least there's criteria that we can knock off. Even though they don't sometimes accept that, and there's issues with that. It's at least something more tangible there. It's like, okay, articles and magazines. Although that you got to show its circulation and this and that, and they wrote about you, not just a small mention, all that kind of stuff. But the NIW is just all over the place. I've seen some really strong cases denied, some really weak cases approved, and every which way of it. But most times it's just denials and RFEs nowadays. And people are doing some really extraordinary work. It's a shame that they're just turning down people that like are doing groundbreaking work.
Oh yeah, it's awful. I mean, I to quote another person from LinkedIn, I can't remember who said it, but they really said NIWs now are an art, they're not a science,
Mm-hmm.
where it is extremely squishy. It is intangible how to exactly present those things. So the best we can do is see what has worked before, how we actually present that, what kind of granular things the officers are looking for, and just try with the next one. And at least some of those are starting to prove dividends.
One of the problems with that is just the amount of legal work that it then requires for that, for the potential RFE, and the amount of hours you put into it. And it really creates a cost structure for a firm to do. Now, there's more and more I'm reading on LinkedIn and stuff, people that are doing do-it-yourself stuff or how to prep this and third-party, tech companies that are doing it. But inevitably, it's a super time-consuming process. Some people have made it efficient in some form or fashion, like a system. I guess maybe if you're doing the same kind of NW over and over again, you know the material in that field. But have you found any way to make the process more efficient where it doesn't like take up your whole month just to do a case?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like there's definitely just like a natural process now where as we learn things from RFEs and stuff, you start factoring those in a little bit. But the biggest challenge, of course, is not to overcorrect too much, so we're not spending a month on an NIW. Um, but yeah, I mean, they're just, it's really just going by feel with some of these things in terms of how to present them. And so actually what I do is I really specialize in folks that don't have citations, that don't have PhDs, that are actually a little bit trickier. And so as a result, there's only so much you can carry from one case to the next,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to really just hammering down and speaking to your client and really understanding like, okay, what do you really do and how can we spin this as being nationally important? Because it most certainly is, but we need to put it in translatable terms that they'll understand through Danasar.
When someone, a potential NIW client, contacts you, uh, how soon do you give the okay of like we could do this? You ask for like I ask for a resume first to see if it's in the ballpark, and then if it's there close to it, I charge for consultation. I'll either do a free consultation, but if there's a lot of talking, I know I have to spend time with them. Then I'll do paid
Sure.
meetings and consultations. Have you created a system for that to make it? How do you run that?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll do like an initial consultation, just the same as you, like just like kind of get an idea, look at the resume. But the thing that's not part of the resume is the proposed endeavor, right? And so people don't really appreciate that in an NIW more so than any other case. It's not about like what you've done in the past as much as it is what you will do in the future.
Mm-hmm.
It's future oriented, right?
Yeah.
And so then I also ask them either during that call or for a second call, tell me what you're going to do in the future. Like how in terms of national importance can you swing this? Like, tell me your 5 year plan. That's really what I ask. And
Mm-hmm.
so when you go in depth like that, then you kind of get a better gist of whether they're an NIW candidate or not.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, there's this idea of like, oh, I have high citation count, I get NIW, but it's like, no,
Mhm.
it's really a proposed endeavor, be national in scope, and that's the main thing. I mean, obviously, your background's come into play, how you could execute, but if this national scope stuff doesn't work through, this Maradona kind of goes back to the old standard NISDA, which is much tougher as the way it's happening right
Mhm.
now, based on that, based on the way
Yeah.
they're acting.
Yeah. Well, and people view like EB2s almost like an NIW as like, here it is, and then here's EB1A. So I'll just go for the easier one. But in truth, they're just apples and oranges. You're doing national importance versus your other criteria that,
Yeah.
as you mentioned.
How often does it happen where you'll recommend somebody do both of them? You have enough to maybe do both and see what works. Does that ever pop up?
I never do them at the same time. I just really, I think like honestly, I don't want to take all that money and
Yeah.
just do that. I'd rather focus one energy on one thing. So really, like what I'll do for someone that really is a great NIW candidate, but perhaps for an EB1A, they have to keep looking, keep working towards those, or just in general get more recommenders over time. Is get the NIW, lock in the priority date, so at least you have a place in line, and then progressively bolster your EB1A case, look for conferences, stuff like that, and get yourself going.
Now, speaking of conferences, do you use conferences for the NIW portion or as evidence, or do you think that doesn't help? It depends, kind of thing.
Yeah, it really is like a depends kind of thing. I mean, that's something for like well positioned, we could plug it in, but by and large, I like to keep things tight for the initial filing. But then when it comes to these like extracurriculars that you could jam in, that's something more at the RFE stage. If you get a lot of contests with well positioned, we're seeing a little more contests with well positioned, but still, it's just the national importance stuff. So it's kind of everything else is kind of a distraction.
It's gotten so hard because I sometimes I'll read these AO cases and it'll be like, I'm like, that's national scope. What is your definition of national at this point? Like it just there's no standard there. So it really
Right.
goes to like one of those lawsuit kind of things. I'm not sure even if you can sue on that because it might say it's discretion or something like that on USCI's part. But if you have a good case that's like really obvious as national and a federal judge sees it, they might be like, okay, this is just like ridiculous. What the standard they create, which is kind of a no standard at all.
Exactly. I mean, I think with both NIWs and EB1As, I think we're really headed towards some sort of watershed moment where we need to have another big decision where, the hammer comes down from the courts. Here's Donisar. Here's the new playbook. And ever so slightly, every single petition just kind of pushes the boundaries a little bit more from USCIS's side. Like, how are we going to distort the meaning here from the regulations
Mm-hmm.
until we just don't even know anymore what those things could mean?
So I'll ask one more question. This is a favorite people clients to ask. Do you recommend premium processing, or do you think premium processing potentially leads to more RFEs denials? What's your in your interest?
That's a great question. I think it really matters about what the client themselves prioritizes, right? I think overall we can kind of admit, yeah, that if you do premium processing, there's a slight uptick in RFEs or NOIDs, depending on the case type. However, overall, to wait for 12 months, 18 months for an adjudication or something, and only to have it then come down to an RFE, you have
Yeah,
wasted to them all that time. And so that is really tough. And so really, if you'd rather have an answer sooner, roll the dice, be ready, but go from there.
makes sense. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show, Austin. What's the best place if you want to reach out to connect with you? Are you on LinkedIn or website, or where's the best place for people to connect with you?
Yeah, I'm always talking about the latest things that we see from USCIS and the outcomes that we have at Hoga Immigration as well. So you can reach me at Austin Dubel on LinkedIn, and also at Austin at hogaim.com.
Awesome. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Stay around for a minute or two to talk after the show, but I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. Thank you, Austin Dubel, for coming on the show and sharing your experience and an open, honest, perception of what's going on, perspective. It's really key in what's going on. That's what we try to do in our community page as well. That's circle.so's website. Essentially, it's like Facebook, but allows us to upload videos and have a private cordoned off area. As well as I manage it, so I keep track of the information there. So we don't have the same questions popping up a lot, or we just kind of control it. If there's the same question popping up a lot, I can do a white paper and I can share white label content for marketing. There's anything I can do to help your practice. It's there. just go to our website, immigrationlawyerstoolbox.com, and go to the community tab, put your bar info there. So know your lawyer, you could join. I think we have 350 plus members right now. Goal is to get to 1,000. Then things could get really rolling and we can really take things to the next level. So please add yourself on there. We're going to take things to a large group that's going to be really influential in this space. I just need each one of your help to do that. And it's already God willing to get there. And thank God it's already happening as well. That's it. Bye-bye. If you like this episode, follow us on Instagram. Our handle is Immigration Lawyers Toolbox, where we post the latest statistics, tips, and more. And stay tuned for more from the Immigration Lawyers Toolbox podcast.